That's right, Bandit and I are camped in snow. And I'm going to share with you on today's Nomad Quick Tip how to stay warm when camping in the snow or the cold. The number one key is probably to wrap up. Wrap your windows up, wrap yourself up, and I'm going to go into detail on how I do that. On my front windshield, I have double coverage. I have the normal sunscreen, and then I have a heavy-duty Reflectix windshield cover. On the side of my windows, driver and passenger side, I normally put up my Reflectix black side out to retain the heat. I no longer put up Reflectix on my side doors or my back barn doors, and here's why. I have curtains that are double lined. They have the curtain material, and then they have the blackout material, and then behind that I put another black liner. It has magnets all the way around, and so I press that into the windows really good, and then I have a double layer black curtain that is actually 2-ply because it's 2 curtains sewn together. So all of that is enough protection, especially on my back doors. And on my side doors, I have that, plus I put up a blanket over it when it is going to be cold weather. Normally, I would have the short blanket up front across the cab, but I have a dog now, so I have to have the short blanket on, or curtain, not blanket, on the side so that he can go in and out when I open the door for him. I use a lantern for heat, and I have my fuel stored behind my passenger seat, so I always bring in extra when I know that the weather is going to be cold so that I have it inside the cab with me. I put a towel or towels over my butane stove at night so that it works in the morning for coffee. Rarely have I ever camped where it got so cold that my butane stove wouldn't work. I think it's only been twice in 5 years. So a lot of people say that they don't use a butane stove for that reason, but I haven't found that to be an issue. I just take precautions just in case. Be sure to watch my upcoming Nomad Quick Tip on why I chose a butane stove. Even during the day and at night, when it's cold, I usually wear my long johns plus I think I have it on now, and my long johns plus a t-shirt plus a sweater, and then I will wear a coat or something over that if I'm going outside or if it's cold enough to warrant that. And of course, Bandit has a coat, but he doesn't always let me put it on him, so he has blankets galore on his bed. I have found that for me, if I wear my hat and keep my neck warm. And I have a neck gaiter that Beth gave me that I usually wear. This is from my friend Teresia. And I have gloves, and I have fingerless gloves that I will even wear inside when I need to. Sitting in bed working, or I usually am in the back when it's cold like this, snuggled up underneath the comforters and everything. Speaking of which, I have a comforter that my friend Linda gave me, and I have a minus 20-degree sleeping bag. I have found that I can't store it underneath the mattress like a lot of people do and like I used to, but because I can't lift the mattress to put it back underneath there when I no longer need it. So I have found a way to put it on top of my bed, and I actually have it where I can sleep on it, and when I need it, I unfold it. Then when I'm done with it, I simply fold it back in half, and I can sleep on it even during the summer months. And I no longer have to get someone to help me, strangers in a camp or something, to help me put my minus 20 sleeping bag up when the weather is warmer. Always take advantage of radiant heat when you can. If the sun is shining, let the sun shine in, but be sure as soon as that sun starts going down that you cover up your windows like I mentioned, and also close your vents, even your dashboard vents, and make sure that they are covered if you have a way to cover your fans. Mine aren't recessed, so I don't have a way to cover mine up, but that's always a good idea too. I keep wool on my feet if at all possible, and I have some that were a pair of wool socks that were gifted to me, and I absolutely love them, and I'm so sorry right now I can't remember who gave them to me. I'll see if I can look that up and find it. Also, be sure that you have extra provisions, extra food, extra supplies of everything, because just because the weather says that it's going to be 2, 3, 4 days of cold or snow doesn't mean that it won't get extended. And so I always buy canned goods to have on hand. I have canned beef that I keep on hand and some other supplies, and I make sure that I have all the paper goods and everything that I'm going to need to stay comfortable in the event that the storm or the bad weather goes longer. And y'all can hear Bandit jumping in and out. Sorry about that. It's his home. In wet and rainy weather, whether it's snow or sleet or whatever, your batteries aren't getting the solar power they usually do. So if you don't have a generator, be sure that you keep an eye on that. It's not a good idea to use your engine battery to keep your house batteries charged. But I have a continuous duty solenoid, and in those instances, sometimes I have to start my engine for about 15 or 20 minutes. And I try not to get put into that situation, but if you have to, you have to. What I have found though, even in snow, with my 400 watts of panel on top of my rig, that in my 3 100 AGM Lifeline batteries, that I usually have plenty of solar power to charge my batteries. It's hard for me to say and keep track of all that. So that's another consideration. If you're going to be camping off-grid and boondocking and you're going to be in inclement weather, be sure that you have enough power to charge whatever you're going to need to run while you're out there. I have such wonderful insulation now that it usually keeps me 10 to 12 degrees warmer than the outside, and my lantern will warm me up another 10, sometimes 15 degrees inside. So with that, Bandit and I are usually toasty warm inside, all snuggled up and wrapped up. I will tell you, sometimes I've gotten up in the mornings and it can be in the 30s inside the van. So be prepared and be sure that you keep your electronics warm and covered up. I never run my heat source while I'm sleeping, ever. And Fancy Free is not completely sealed. There is enough ventilation in her that I usually only have to crack a window about that much up front to when I do run my heat. But I never, like I said, sleep at night with my heat source going. Bandit's wanting to come up for a while. He's decided it's cool enough out there, he'll stay in for a little bit. His chain is even cold, but he won't let me put a coat on him and he's not shivering, so I'm assuming he's okay. I have the lantern going in here and he can go in and out underneath the short curtain. He's a crazy puppy. Let's talk about the outside for a minute. So a lot of RVs, the bigger ones and the buses and even mobile homes and RV parks and everything will have a skirt around the bottom of their rig to keep it warmer. And clearly as nomads and boondocking, we can't do that. But what you can do is on the inside, like I have wooden floors, and when it's going to be cold, I put extra insulation on the floor, whether it's towels or blankets or whatever. That really does help. I can't keep it out from underneath outside, but I can help on the inside. Likewise, if you want down now? No? I never know what he wants to do. Likewise, if you have a tarp and have a way to put it on the north side or where the storm might be coming from, if it's rain, sometimes those come out of the southwest. If you can put it on and protect your rig from the wind and the rain and even snow that way, I recommend that. I don't mess with that because I don't even do the directional parking that they recommend. You know how people will say face head on into the wind so that you don't rock and all that. Well, I don't have a high top, so that's not a big consideration for me. I'd rather park where I'm going to get the best use of radiant heat, east and west sun, and keep the wind out of my side doors. So that's how I park, not always against the wind. And I don't mess with a tarp because as a solo female traveling alone, I want to be able to pack up and go whenever I need to at a moment's notice. I don't even leave anything outside. So that's it for our, oh, and hot beverages. I forgot to say, because I was just going to say, I'm going to go have a hot cocoa now. And so I can't give hot beverages to Bandit, but I drink decaffeinated coffee and hot cocoa throughout the day when it is cold, and that helps warm it up too, let alone the cooking. And again, keep your rig ventilated when you are cooking or heating so that you are safe. I hope that you have found today's Nomad quick tip helpful, and that you too can stay snugly warm in cold weather, even when it's snowing. We'll see you down the road, everybody. Can you say bye? He doesn't want to. He wants me to go outside and play with him. That's what he wants. Bye, everybody. Keep on keeping on. On the side of my windows, I usually put... And it...